Welcome back. Sporting veteran Joseph Reds Pereira has high expectations from the newest Youth and Sports Minister Kenson Casimir and is dishing out some advice to help him get the sporting sector to the level it should be. Pereira sat with Hot 7 TV News on Thursday and stated that he believes Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre placed Casimir in the perfect position.
I think the Honourable Kenson is an excellent choice, and congratulations to the Honourable Prime Minister for appointing a young man. He is the second young sports minister in the region, the other being from Guyana, the Honourable Charles Ramson, and it's nice to see a young man who has a strong sporting background, who really is keen in sport, getting an opportunity to make a difference.
Pereira said Casimir needs to take into account the task ahead and approach it with due care. He had a few suggestions for the minister.
There are some things that he might need to reshape his own Ministry of Sport, which he's now inheriting, and he needs to look at maybe the Mendo Philip Park, which is a great drain on the Ministry of Sport and their coffers, and maybe tie that in with a private sector. So like the Mendo Philip Park in association with X. And the same thing could be done for the Darren Cricket Ground. It could be the Darren Cricket Ground in association with an international name. And these are things which are possible if they are tackled early. I think that he has an excellent chance of doing well, but it's not an easy job because he's not inheriting a strong sporting structure.
The sportsman went on to say that although the process may be slow and difficult, the minister should press forward as he believes that it will take time to get the island to a level of success.
I think it will take time. It will take time. You need the focus on the coaching. You need more activity. We have lost the road running in St. Lucia. Our athletes need to be running more often, even in COVID times. And COVID times is going to have an impact on the job of the minister because you can't have a great deal of activity. But in the meantime, you can plan. And I think the early months of his office, he will look to try and improve the structure, the base. And if he can improve the base in 2022, hopefully we can have maybe a real drop in the number of cases where sport will be played, even contact sport. And I think it will be maybe an opportunity to start seeing the results then.
That was Joseph Reds Pereira. Haitian residents are in desperate need for a miracle 5 days after a powerful earthquake killed at least 2,189 and Tropical Storm Grace added more chaos to the fray. Whilst help is trickling in, struggling people say they need it more quickly. We have more from the BBC.
Haiti's Prime Minister has said the country is on its knees 5 days after a devastating earthquake. The death toll is nearing 2,200, medical help is slim, and there are still many areas that aid workers haven't been able to access. Our correspondent James Clayton reports from the village of Marceline near the epicentre.
As you head out from the city of Les Cayes to rural Marceline, the road is marked by landslides and deep cracks. The village is remote and the scale of the damage catastrophic. Rosemarie took me to her house. Her 15-year-old son was charging his phone when the quake hit. The wall collapsed on him.
These are his books. He had recently got them so he could start a new year of school. And now, he's gone. I wrap his shirt around my waist. It keeps me strong.
When you come to these rural areas, the level of destruction just ups a notch. Almost every single house here is completely destroyed. 5 people were killed in this house alone. And to understand why, you have to look at the cement and rock that these houses are built from. It's really hard to lift this. It's really heavy. And of course, when those kinds of walls fall down, they can cause catastrophic injuries.
With no sign of aid or help, many people are living on top of the rubble of what was their homes. Do we have to scream for the government to hear us, this woman says, or is life over? The people of Haiti feel like they've been forgotten, and in many ways they have. James Clayton, BBC News, Marceline.
The St. Lucia Workers Credit Union hosted its 2021 annual scholarship ceremony under the theme Pulling Through Despite COVID. 6 students were awarded the scholarships totaling more than $8,000. The scholarships will cover the entire 5 years of secondary school and 2 years for those who receive the scholarship and are heading on to the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College.
The St. Lucia's Workers Credit Union once again hosted its annual scholarship ceremony. This year, the credit union awarded 6 scholarships worth $8,000 collectively. 5 students were successfully awarded scholarships to the secondary school of their first choice, and for the first time ever, a scholarship was also awarded to a student to attend the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. The scholarships will cover the entire 5 years of school for those who obtain passes to secondary schools and 2 years for that of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. President of the St. Lucia's Workers Credit Union, Peter Lewis, says that he is extremely pleased to award a scholarship to a Sir Arthur Lewis attendee, but also to see boys also succeeding in education.
I am extremely happy that not only are we able to give our first tertiary scholarship, but at this time around, the boys outnumbered the girls. And that is a very, very positive sign. Not that we're putting down the girls, but you must understand that from the time we've been doing this scholarship program, it's been a lady show for the most part. And so we want to encourage you. We want you parents to stay in touch with us at the credit union, because beyond us providing them with a scholarship, we have several programs aimed at developing young people.
In keeping with the theme Pulling Through Despite of COVID, Vice President of St. Lucia's Workers Credit Union, Jermaine Berthier, commends awardees for performing excellently in spite of the stresses posed by COVID-19.
I'd like to congratulate all of you for doing as well as you did during this common entrance exam. You, in your own little way, beat COVID-19. Yeah? In your own little way. You did it. You did it. You persevered. There were so many discouraging things happening around you guys.
The credit union says that it is extremely proud of the successes of its young and future members and looks forward to nothing short of greatness from them. For the Hot 7 Nightly News, I am Karim Nelson.
CNN's Clarissa Ward reports on the hurdles Americans and Afghans are facing trying to get to Kabul's airport as Taliban fighters attempt to block access with gunfire and violence. The accosting incident comes days after Taliban leaders made promises to use less violence and to respect the rights of women within the confines of the Islamic religion.
America's last foothold in Afghanistan is now guarded by the Taliban.
See, the Taliban are all over. They don't allow anyone.
We've come to Kabul's airport to see the gauntlet people must pass through to fly out.
You can hear gunshots every couple minutes.
CNN.
Quickly, we are accosted by an angry Taliban fighter.
Can I ask you a question? Excuse me?
He says first.
Cover my face? Okay. Cover my face. What is this? What is that? He told me to cover my face, but he doesn't want to comment on that truncheon he's carrying.
The fighter tells us these chaotic scenes are the fault of America. The cause of all this is America in Afghanistan. Look at these people, he says. America's really acting unfairly towards them. Why are they lying and telling them that they can go to America? Why don't they let them stay and help their country?
Okay.
Doesn't want to talk to you.
Okay. Doesn't want to talk to you. That's fine. All right.
We keep walking to avoid confrontation. A man follows us, asking for advice.
How we can enter the base?
How you can enter the base?
Yes. Because they are sending me email also.
Do you have paperwork to enter?
Yes.
Show me
The
your
enter,
paperwork.
no. But we have email and they calling me.
is this an Italian company?
Yeah, Italian company. Herat.
Okay, I don't want this guy to whip you.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Others crowd around us to show their documents.
Camp Phoenix. You work at Camp Phoenix.
It's my HR letter.
Yeah. You were a translator?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's what
Camp
we are
Invicta.
doing.
So they're saying they all worked at American
Yeah,
camps
we have-
as translators for the Americans, and they can't get into that airport. These Taliban fighters are a little upset with us. So let's keep going.
We decide to leave and head for our car. The fighter takes the safety off his AK-47 and pushes through the crowd.
Stay behind him. Stay behind him.
You can see that some of these Taliban fighters, they're just hopped up on adrenaline, or I don't know what. It's a very dicey situation.
Suddenly, two other Taliban charge towards us. You can see their rifle butt raised to strike producer Brent Swales. When the fighters are told we have permission to report, they lower their weapons and let us pass. Clarissa Ward, CNN, Kabul.
Well, with that, we come to the end of the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. I'm lovely St. Amy Joseph on behalf of the entire team. Thank you for joining us and good night.